Hello there and welcome here at Professor Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Simon Irungu, coming in with the big question. How are you doing, Professor?
Wonderful.
You're good?
Good.
How have you been from our last encounter?
Wonderful.
Okay, so today's...
Thanking God for every passing day.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful that God is keeping you alive. Every day we are meeting with you, we see you in good health. We really appreciate
We
God
don't take
that.
it for granted.
We don't take it for granted, sir. Okay, so today's question will be on Deputy President allegation in the US saying that the democracy of Kenya is in trial, or has been in trial. Okay, so the question will be: is the Deputy President William Ruto allegation on election rigging well founded?
Well, whether it's well founded or not, the question one would have to ask first is how would a deputy president of a country accuse his own government? Because the way he's putting it is like this can only be orchestrated by government, and is part of that government.
Okay.
That kind of contradiction is. But a question of whether elections are free or fair is always a question everywhere in the world. The last U.S. election, there were lots of issues about election malpractices that ended all the way to the Supreme Court. So it's nothing strange about somebody saying elections could be stolen or have been stolen.
Okay, you're saying now that the DP is contradicting himself and is part of the government.
Yes.
Does that mean maybe there is some truth maybe to election rigging during the previous years?
That's what people are saying. If you are saying, then so you know you are part of it as deputy president. You know you did it in 2017.
Okay.
You are part of it. You are part of it 2013. You are part of the system. So you know. That's why you are so sure it is going on.
Okay.
So those are the questions you then must face.
Okay.
And that's why those of us who are telling Ruto, if you have disagreed with the government, with your president, this fundamentally, the only way out, not the better way, not the best way, the only way out is for you to leave government. Then you can make those accusations from outside.
Okay,
and now you can see.
Okay.
He's looking, you come out looking very bad.
Yeah.
I'm loose with bad names.
People are saying
so let
that
me be
he's
careful with the word
Kenya.
because I'm talking about a DP.
People are saying that he's embarrassing Kenya.
Yes, you are embarrassing yourself. Before you embarrass Kenya, you know these people you are talking to are not fools.
Okay.
They can't believe they are listening to a deputy president.
Okay.
You are talking to people who would have resigned long time ago, even for lesser things. A minor difference with the president, even a slip of the tongue that would tend to suggest you have slighted your president.
Okay.
That would be enough for you to resign. Those are the people you are talking to. And you are the deputy president. And they can't believe it. When they listen to you, they think there's something wrong with Africans.
This allegation of the Kenyan democracy being under trial are coming up from the DP, are coming out after the handshake, after Uhuru is showing support to Raila. Okay, so I'm left wondering, can the sitting government influence the poll outcome?
It is possible. Elections are about getting results, and elections. There are all manner of things that go on during an election.
Okay.
Any election, and I've given examples, even religious, even church elections, even the election of Pope, this election or whatever it is called.
Yeah.
Before you see that white smoke, it's not church business. It is serious business. Whenever you are choosing a leader, and that's why those who read the Bible will understand what God was telling the people of Israel. Use judges to lead you.
Okay.
Learned men. But these leaders, political leaders, whether they be kings or whatever, they are not good people. Yes. So election, especially in politics, I would be surprised if some force, whether that force be government or some system, some people call it deep state, I would be very surprised if there wasn't some force involved in any of these things at any one time, at any level. So it will not surprise me.
Okay, you have mentioned something to do with an external force. You mentioned maybe deep state. Currently, is there that force?
Pardon?
Is there that force that you are saying, this unseen force that you are mentioning, that there is a force that maybe influences elections?
In economics, there used to be the invisible hand until people discover there's nothing. Business can just run without any hand behind it. Same in politics. We may also be placing too much premium on this issue of deep state when it doesn't exist. The only thing I am saying, the idea that an election can move on freely, clean, without some form of interference in one way or the other, is an idea I'm not ready to buy. And I've given an example of elections that want to produce leaders at any level, in any place. There are always games and intrigues and things. So if deep state could be one of those forces,
okay,
I would not be surprised. And I think there's always some form of deep state.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the use of
however, it's a question of how do you define that deep state?
Okay.
Who constitutes that? We may have a difference in terms of how do you define it.
Okay.
How influential, but being there, it must be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now on state machinery, the use of state machinery in one way or another, can it aid a candidate to achieve a certain outcome?
Even in America,
okay,
when a president is defending his second term, he's done 4 years, he's going for another 4 years, there has always been debate. How do we ensure the president doesn't carry his office to the next election?
Okay.
But because he remains president, he uses the beast. He uses those funny helicopters. He uses Air Force One. He has all the powers. He has the key to the nuclear codes. He's still that huge infrastructure called President of the United States of America. Certainly everybody agrees it will aid you. So, government with its institutions and agencies can influence an election, and does, I think, influence an election.
But this time round, it's not a president seeking re-election. It is the state machinery being used to support another candidate.
This is even more so because here is a state aligned to one candidate. Here is the government or the state supporting a person who should actually be an outsider, the opposition. You see that unique situation? Because ideally, Uhuru should, and the government and all the resources should be supporting William Ruto so that Jubilee can win. And you see the state, the president, the state, the agencies, the institution, the resources were going to be used to support William Ruto. And he was going to be happy. It will be Raila who will be complaining. Okay. We only find ourselves in a unique situation because now all that the state can have and bring to help somebody win an election is being directed towards Raila Odinga.
Okay.
Yeah, so it can, and certainly it will have influence.
Okay, so in previous years, when the opposition is complaining about maybe election being planned to be rigged, okay, the sitting government will say, you know, these people are sensing defeat. And we have John Mbadi, we have Raila saying that these allegations are not true, there is no election that is going to be rigged. So can the DP be sensing defeat?
Let me tell you something. In any election for MCA or whatever, MP, name it,
okay,
governor, show me a man complaining the most in that election for that constituency, and I will show you the loser.
Okay, ask that again.
I'm saying, if you show me the man complaining the most about malpractices, or my people are being beaten, or what, there's going to be rigging, or so and so is dishing money. Show me the complainer, the man complaining the most, and I will identify for you the loser of that election. That is a loser.
Okay.
Generally speaking, those who complain the most,
they are losing.
They are the people who are going to lose. Okay. Of course, there are sometimes genuine reasons. Like, for example, if you look at the NASA complaint in 2017, especially regarding whether or not they will participate in the repeat election. Okay. If you look at the things they put down, those are real issues, matters which unless you address, why would I participate in an election? Okay. So there are cases like those. But I'm talking generally, those who complain the most are the people who are going to lose. So it is also psychological. It's also coming to terms. It's also handling grief. I see Ruto as a person increasingly aware that this election is lost. And you will see a more irritated Ruto. You're going to see a more angry Ruto. You're going to see a Ruto who is punching, including punching in the dark.
Okay.
Because Ruto has sensed defeat.
Okay.
Which some of us saw long time ago. But you know, grief is a very difficult thing to handle. Even when somebody dies. Not everybody agrees that somebody has died. There's that unreasoned hope that this person actually hasn't died. So whenever we have this kind of issues, people have a way of handling. So Ruto is getting to that stage in managing grief where he has now accepted that the patient has died.
Okay.
The election is lost.
Okay.
Now how you handle it, how you react, there are various stages. And he's going to go through all these stages.
Okay.
That will culminate in him losing, having to accept defeat, dealing with the reality that he has lost, and so he's at the lower level of grief management.
Okay, now on the issue of election rigging and election mistrust.
Yes.
Can we solve this issue internally instead of seeking for Western intervention?
In any case, what can the West really do?
Okay.
There's not. Raila tried and everybody has tried. They cannot come to manage our election, but they have influence. The thing you must ask yourself is,
okay,
if William Samoei Ruto is in America talking to white people about a Kenyan election, is he getting a receptive ear? The answer is certainly no. Uncle Sam is very clear on this election. The Western world is clear on this election. The Chinese are clear on this election. Let me not mention individual countries, but I'm sure foreigners, outsiders, our development partners and everybody else who has an interest in Kenya is clear about this election. They are clear about Raila Odinga. It's as clear as that. They are clear. They may not want to tell you, but even if you see the way they are moving, they are clear about. So even if he goes to America and shouts and cries, the Americans, I'm sure, are already clear about who should take this election. Actually, who has taken.
Okay.
A question of whether it can be Raila or anybody else is not on the minds of Americans. For this election, they are going with Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay, now with the leaders that we have from both sides, are they the ones to solve this issue of democracy being under trial? The leaders that we are currently having right now, is there any one of them?
You see, these are people, the same people.
Okay.
Same forest pups, same monkeys, and they are just putting on different uniforms. Mm-hmm. If there is a mess caused by elections in this country, each of these people has contributed in their own way, in some measure, big or small. Each one of them has contributed from the past until now. So they will be, they are unlikely to be the same people to sort out the mess. Because when things are going well for you, you even lambast the Supreme Court for making a judgment that nullifies your election. Okay. You get it? Okay. Yeah. The kind of things this fellow said about Maraga and his court, we all know. We still remember. They are fresh in our minds. The same people now, at least part of that team, now William Ruto, now that the shoe is on the other leg, the other foot, so it's normal.
Are you saying that if Raila was on the other side now, if the Deputy President William Ruto was having the state support and Uhuru was in his side, are we seeing maybe Raila being the one maybe going to the Western to seek for...
He will be saying, he'll be talking to the international community, he will be complaining and he would lose. Okay. Let me tell you, I've told people, he will still lose to Ruto. If Uhuru and the state were supporting Ruto, Raila will still lose. Okay. Oh, it's 100% sure.
So this is it's reversal.
It is just... the dialectics now Kenya is now entering into, realizing we have to play this game now in such a way we do not dig this hole we are in deeper. Continue to dig the Kenyan hole deeper while we are in. It's pretending you can have a country where Kikuyus rule followed by Kalenjin back to Kikuyu. That you are in a hole and you are continuing to dig. Soon it will cave in and we will all collapse inside. So I think this game is now shifting. The realization that has to be broken in the interest of this country. That it is not sustainable for any country to pretend that only a certain section of that country can hold power. It is not possible, and that's why kingdoms have collapsed. Because people get to a point and say, to what extent are we Kenyans? To what extent are we citizens of this country? If out of 40, only 2 people It is not sustainable. And that's why the game is now changing. Okay. So you put in Raila, and that's all you may need. You can actually revert to the old thing after you have cleansed. It's like cleansing. You just put in Raila once, like the noise dies, and you go back to business. Factor setting. You go to default setting, factor setting. Yeah.
You know, we can't have the conversation of election without mentioning the IEBC.
Yes.
You know? Is the IEBC, within the remaining 5 months, is it ready to monitor the election, to carry out the election? That is
IEBC will carry out this election.
Okay.
They have never been competent people. So within that space of incompetence, they will still carry out the election. How prepared are they? The answer is they are not well prepared, but they will still do the election. I am on record saying many people are excited about 2022 election. And that was the William Ruto side that thought that the game was so easy, already actually won. They did not want to listen to anything, including IEBC preparedness.
Okay.
The thing is now coming to haunt them. They should have listened to Manyora.
Okay.
Because it's like you see the game, you are in the game, you are supposed to pass the ball to another player.
Yeah.
But it was raining a bit. The goalkeeper has slid. After sliding, he has gone off the goal.
Okay.
So you see, why would I give the striker to score when the goal is empty? Then you shoot and it goes well above the bar. And that's what has happened to Ruto. They thought the goal was empty.
Yeah.
There was no goalkeeper. For that reason, they didn't want to listen to anything about preparedness, about issues, about the voter register. What register do we even have in this country, if you ask them?
Okay.
It has not been audited. The law was changed to say IEBC may, not shall, may audit. And now, so we have added voters. There are those who have died. If you audited this voter register, I am sure the numbers you will fish out, remove, are enough to tilt an election.
What do you mean? Do you mean we are bound to maybe...
Nigeria did it, and they got huge numbers, millions of votes.
Are we maybe going back to the scenario where we had dead people voting?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the William Ruto side thought they had won this thing. They were waiting for the crown. They were waiting for the cup. Why do you want to engage us in things that you can delay our getting to State House? We are already in State House. Don't talk about how prepared the IEBC is. Don't talk about the election laws. No, we are wasting our time. Don't talk about procurement. Because they were in a hurry. Now, So as we speak now, IEBC, in my thinking, is not prepared enough for a credible election. Okay. But there will be an election and somebody will be announced winner. The loser will really cry.
Okay.
And on the list of the 10 things the loser will be listing down, top 1, 2, 3, 4 will be the things I was calling out.
Okay.
Was the register done? How was the procurement? All the things I was raising. They thought Manyora was saying, let us postpone an election. And Manyora was speaking for deep state. How can I speak? Who am I? I'm a very small man in this country. Yeah.
Okay, you're saying that the IEBC is not prepared to carry out an election.
A credible election.
A credible election, you have said. Okay, so what does the IEBC need to do?
It's too late.
What are some of the things that
the issues of IEBC are organizational, are systemic, are including who are the commissioners. Those are not things you can change. It is many things you can't just change. If they had listened to me, and that was before we filled the slots, we would have been serious about the 4 commissioners, not just anybody being a commissioner. Okay. How good was the process? Did it produce the best? These people in the commission, the 4, are good Kenyans and they are capable, but are they the best we can have? An election is a very serious thing. It can take this country down. And for 50 years, we will still be trying to wake up, to find ourselves. How long has Somalia taken? From 1991 up to now. Once you destroy a country, it can take even 100 years. Okay. And an election can take the country that route. And therefore, it is something we need to sit down and be very serious about, including if it is commissioner. Then they don't just have to be good like these ones are good. Okay. They have to be the best this country can afford. Okay. They are not the best we can afford, but they are good people.
All right. The IEBC conversation seems to be interesting. I think we are going to be having more of this discussion behind the camera. Unfortunately, the viewers won't be able to...
No, they can participate
They
online.
can participate online.
Yes, yes.
How do they participate online? It's very simple. You can give your comment down below the video. You can tweet. They can write articles in Nairobi Review.
Articles to Nairobi Review.
Yeah.
Nairobi Review.africa. You can send them to Nairobi Review Limited.
Okay.
At gmail.com and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Okay, and always remember to send in your videos at the email. The email is down below. You can always send your video. Tell us what you think of the current political situation in the country. Well, that has been the question for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Do enjoy the rest of your day.